Hello everyone, welcome to Long's Toys. I have a Shuriken Sentai Ninninger review for you. This is the Gashadokuro YouShuriken. This was from Premium Bandai. It's kind of another one of the villain shurikens. So pretty cool. I like the front of the box with the kind of crazy giant skull teeth. I mean, obviously the teeth are bigger than the skull, but it's crazy, creepy. Looks kind of neat. Not too much going on the top. Sides, again, just some more creepy skulls, which is weird and creepy. Not too much going on the bottom or the back, but it's a pretty neat little box. But we'll go ahead, we'll get out of the packaging, and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here it is out of the packaging, and I have to say, I think they did a nice job. Like, the sticker looks very nice. It's a bummer there's no LED there. It's just a printed sticker. But the skull is really cool on the top, and you got some black feathers and a kanji that I don't recognize. But the blade is definitely a firm plastic and has a really nice black wash on both sides, which I think looks really nice. Otherwise, the back is a normal shuriken, nothing special there. You can go ahead and take the blade off, and you can see I mean, it's not 100% like super hard plastic, but it's pretty firm. Firmer than like the ones that come with the Otomonin. So there is a button on the back, and it has about 9 phrases to cycle through. There is also a sound when you put the blade on, which I'll go ahead and do for you. So it basically just says its name. But one thing to note, the 9 phrases will cycle through whether you have the blade attached or not. It does not make different sounds without the blade attached. So there's the one sound, it says its name when you attach the blade, but either way, it's going to go through the other phrases. So I'll go through them for you. So that's it. If I press it again, it just goes back to the first one. So those are the phrases that will cycle through. And that's pretty much the only sounds you're going to get out of this. I will show the connectivity with both the yokai hammer and the ichibanto. But that's the bulk of the sounds that are going to come out of it. It's just basically phrases from kind of the 3 most main villains, I should say, from the series. I honestly can't remember their names just because, with the exception of Kyuemon, we don't really deal that much with them, and they're just not that memorable, unfortunately, so I don't remember their names, but it's kind of the, like, main lieutenant and then the wife of the big general that, if you're caught up with the show, he, like, just revived. So it was his wife, and then the kind of second-in-command guy that they just featured in the show as well. So it's just sounds from those 3 villains. But we'll go ahead and we'll check out the interactivity with the other 2 items I mentioned. So first up we have the yokai hammer, which again looks really great but does not really have a lot going on. There's obviously no batteries in here. So you would think that this shuriken is made for this because it's a enemy shuriken and this is kind of the enemy hammer. But unfortunately, it doesn't really do much. You go ahead and connect it. It doesn't even really make a sound. And then the trigger really is just going to... So they're not really new sounds. The trigger on this, all it is doing is pressing the button on the back of the shuriken again. So there's not really anything going on. I mean, you can hold the button down and it still makes the sound of the mallet shaking, so it does, you know to be connected to the mallet in that respect. But if you take this off and just hold the button down with your finger, it makes the same sound. So, I mean, I do appreciate that they put the functionality in here, that it knows that if you're holding the button down, it's most likely because you're being connected to the hammer, so I appreciate that. But otherwise, the hammer doesn't really do anything. It's just, it's like an extension of hitting the button with your finger. You're connecting it to something and pressing a trigger, which presses the button on the back, which you could do just by yourself. So it unfortunately doesn't have a whole lot of functionality with the hammer. As far as the Ichibanto goes, there's not a whole lot to do with it. So, again, it's just pressing the button on the back. I mean, if you press this, I mean, as you can tell, the sounds do not match up. Now, interestingly enough, this does make some noises when you spin it. I'm going to try and just spin it without... Actually, I'll just turn it off, just so you can tell when it spins. So I don't know what those two phrases are, but it alternates back and forth between those two. So, interestingly enough, it can't spin on the hammer. It can only spin on this, but it makes that sound when you spin it. Otherwise, it's just going to, when you press the trigger, it's just going to press the button on the back, so it's going to trigger those phrases again. And none of those phrases match up with the Ichibanto. So, the only reason really to attach it to the Ichibanto is to get those two weird phrases from spinning it. Otherwise, it doesn't really do anything with this. So at the end of the day, I don't know that I can fully recommend it. It would really be only if you're like a hardcore Ninninger completist. And at this point, I don't really think there are many of those out there. It's a cool Shuriken. I like the sticker on the front. The sounds that it makes are cool. The blade is really nice with the kind of black wash, and it's on both sides, which I appreciate. It just doesn't have a heck of a lot of functionality. I mean, you know, it's meant to go on the hammer, and I do appreciate that when you hold the button down in the back, it makes the hammer sound so that it knows it's meant to function with that. And it makes the weird sounds when you spin it on the Ichibanto. Maybe that's just kind of like a this isn't supposed to be on here sound or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, you're basically getting the like 9 to 10 phrases out of it, and that's kind of it. So, I mean, when you think about the fact that this is premium Bandai, I think it was either $20 or $25 before middleman fees and shipping. So, you're probably looking at somewhere like $35 to $40 for this thing. I don't know if it's really worth that. I mean, I like it, but I could have lived without it probably. It's not like a diehard need on this one. So, like I said, if you want to collect all the Ninninger Shurikens, if you're a completist in that aspect, you're going to need to pick this guy up. And I don't think you'd be disappointed with what you get, but I would definitely, if you could find it on eBay for cheaper, or Mandarake or something like that, and you could get this thing for somewhere in the area of 20 to 30, then I think it's a better deal. I don't think it was worth full retail plus fees and everything, because it doesn't do a whole heck of a lot, which is kind of a shame. But it's a nice looking Shuriken, I'll at least give it that. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinions. Let me know if you think this is worth it or not. Please like and share this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the Gashadokuro YouShuriken from Shuriken Sentai Ninninger, and thanks for watching.